All right, I've been having a problem with chlorine lasting inside my pool for quite a few months now. Now, when I go to the store, they're saying that my TDH level is up, and that might be the problem, as well as low on stabilizer. Now, I understand these may be a factor inside lowering the chlorine quickly, but the problem is, I've had this situation before where the chlorine would last a week, which was very, very short period of time as far as I'm concerned. And I've gone through the process of draining the pool. And let me give a quick note right away here, interrupting myself, is that this is a fiberglass pool. And even though this is very high on ground level, you can't drain the pool completely because it will collapse upon itself or even push directly up out of the ground. Usually I was draining just to that first step and then doing the process a few times. But I'm taking it this time down to the second step because I don't want to be doing this several times. And then we'll refill it with some fresh water. Okay, now going back again, is that I've had the problem before with TDS levels and the lack of enough stabilizer and so forth, and the chlorine would last maybe a week or so, period. That's when I thought I had certain problems. Normally, during a normal operation of this pool for nearly 9 years, even with heavy rains and cumulative metals or whatever not inside the pool, one jug of chlorine would last me maybe a month, 6 weeks. It would start waning after about 6 weeks, but that's what it would be. So these days I'm putting in a jug of chlorine, and believe it or not, 2 days. In 2 days it's gone. Day and a half you can see a markable difference in the chlorine level, and in 2 days it's completely gone. So I just can't see that it's just a problem with the TDS or the stabilizer. I don't want to start casting dispersions at anybody or start pointing fingers. But the fact is, with this chlorine shortage that we have, I do believe that suppliers are actually diluting the chlorine that they're selling a greater point than they usually do. And, this is something that's definitely done inside production. If you can see, when we had these shortages of alcohol during COVID, even now to this day, you look at your bottles of alcohol being sold inside the supermarkets, and you'll see that they've gone from 93% to down to 60 some odd percent alcohol, and the rest water. Yet the prices didn't change, prices went up. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna drain this down to that second step, like I said, and then refill it. And I'm gonna check this TDS level right now at this point, to tell you the truth, to make sure I know where I'm at. And I'm gonna check this TDS level after it's completely filled back up, which is going to take a lot of water and it's going to take a lot of time. It's not exactly a stellar pressure coming inside these houses, at least in this section of South Florida. And I'm looking at maybe an hour, not an hour. This has been taking, just to get to this point in the draining process, it's been taking a little over 2 hours, I think. So I'm looking at 2.5 hours just to fill this back up with that single little hose there. All right, anyway, let's just take the TDS level real quick. This is my trusty TDS meter. So I take this guy up, bada boom, bada bang. It has its probes inside there. Haven't used it in a while, but I'm pretty sure the battery's still good. Let's see if I can remember how to turn this damn thing on. Yeah, simple enough, just press the button. All right, let's see if we can take this level reaching inside the pool without dropping it or my phone inside the water. Okay. We'll leave it in for a little while. What you can do is just stick the probe in and wait and see when the fluctuations stop. And already, like I said, immediately I know it's like super high because it's at 4,146, which is super high. and it's pretty much stable at that point, so that's my number. Let's press this hold. Too late. Anyway, we got over 4,000 on the TDS, so we know that it's definitely a problem there. 1 second. All right, we're about an inch or inch and a half off the top of that second step. I think that's as far as we really need to go right now. I'm just gonna shut the drain down, and then I'm gonna start running the hose to fill this. Another note is that in the past few times that I've actually drained the pool out a little bit to change the water out, I would always forget and end up draining it much more than I really wanted to drain it. And even on the opposite side, I would forget that I'm going to put this, I'll leave that on that side for now. I'd also forget when I'm filling it back up and end up putting more water in and having to drain it down, some water, which is costly as well as wasteful. So what I do these days is I put half-hour alarms on, even though it's going to take maybe 2 hours for this thing to actually fill up properly. I put an alarm for every half hour, so every half hour I take a peek at it and see what's going on. That's the way I'm guaranteed to remember to keep an eye on things to make sure things work properly here. So that hose is snaking around down there, so it's clear the water's coming out. I don't have to pull it out to check to make sure it's flowing through. And so we wait now. Okay, it's 5 o'clock, and we've got more than enough water in there to reach the skimmer properly. And as I said, we're expecting rain for at least a full week starting tomorrow. If water inside the skimmer, enough to work with. And I'm pretty sure by, if not tomorrow, I don't know how much rain we're going to be getting, but it's a heavy percentage chance of rain. 70% I think tomorrow, and then comparable for the next 4 days after that. So I'm pretty sure that we're gonna have this thing filled with rainwater by 2 days from now. Like I said, today's Thursday. It's gonna rain starting tomorrow. I think by the weekend, late Saturday, it'll be all the way up. So I'm gonna stop at this point. Okay, back. The cap, you pull off the cap and it has the batteries inside there, 2 button batteries. And the cap goes back on any direction, but it only works in one direction. And add insult to injury, there's no markings or anything to tell you what direction it should be on. The unfortunate part about it is that we're getting those same, wait a minute, it's starting to drop down now, but I was getting the same readings of around 3,000. But this looks good. Let's see if it holds down. It's dropping down to 2,100. 19, it's a major dropping. But will it set? Oops. New batteries, it should set. Usually it sets about this time. Okay, it's not setting, locking in, but we're at the, I can't even say what the hell we are. We're fluctuating between 1,200 and 1,300. I'm going to leave it at that. Anyway, it looks like it's staying under 15. I don't know why it's not setting. Let's see if I can change the mode on it. Which I have no idea what the modes mean. Oh, no, there, I see the modes are just for temperature settings here. Fahrenheit, Celsius, and then the parts per million. Okay, it locked just now, and it said 1918, which is really good. Anywhere between 1500 and 2000 is supposed to be perfect, and it's at 1918. So we've successfully lowered the TPM, sorry, the TDS to proper levels. Now I'm just going to put in the stabilizer. All right, here's the stabilizer. I got a 4-pound container from Publix at about $24. It's very expensive, but I looked in a lot of places. They're expensive no matter where you get. I don't know if you can get maybe a couple of cents or dollars less than somewhere else, but be prepared to spend a lot of money for a stabilizer. It's got to be introduced into the skimmer slowly, and what I'm going to do is I'm just going to put 2 pounds of this in at first, which is pretty much half the container, nice and slow. And then we'll see how that works over a period of time. I'll see how it looks tomorrow after I put in half of the 2 pounds of stabilizer. And a little more. I think that's just about half of the stabilizer that inside the container. All right. So we're gonna let that linger. I'm gonna take another reading on the levels with the strips. Strips are fairly accurate as far as I'm concerned. Of course, the computer at the store is much more accurate, but gotta forgive all my crazy camera angles here. I should have brought out the stand to do this. But I'm doing it all by hand. Wow, I got crazy levels, and of course just after I put everything inside there. I can't really check the levels like this at this point. That stuff has to sink in. I don't even have to put this up against the chart to tell you. I could look and see that all the levels at the high points. So we'll let that dissipate inside water. And the next reading I'll take is tomorrow. That'll be a more accurate reading of where we're at.